Namaskar. I'm Dr. Rama Paudel. Welcome to 5th episode of SCIPOD, the conversation on science, policy and development issues in Nepal. In this episode, we will discuss about the prospect and challenges in application of remote sensing technology in development planning in Nepal. Remote sensing and associated geospatial technologies are considered as mainstream ICT application and can be used for many planning processes such as land use planning, disaster management, sustainable urban planning, natural resource management, tourism industry in Nepal. To discuss on these issues, our guest for today is Dr. Upama Koju. Dr. Upama Koju is a senior researcher at Forest Action Nepal and also a visiting faculty at Kathmandu University, Nepal Open University, and Kathmandu Forestry College. She holds a PhD in cartography and geographic information system from the Chinese Academy of Sciences, Beijing, China, and also served as a postdoctoral research fellow on Boreal Ecosystem Research Project from Griffith University. She has more than 12 years of experience in the application of GIS and remote sensing technologies in natural resource management in Nepal. Welcome, Dr. Koju.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me in this program. I feel so much honored to be here.
Thank you, ma'am. So, you are working in this remote sensing and geospatial technology field, also often called as Earth observation technologies for so long. Can you please briefly describe about this technology?
Okay, yeah, as you have told something in the introduction, so actually geospatial technology or Earth observation, it's a perspective new, I think we can say a added dimension in every sector of research, yeah, or research and also in problem solving or analysis and everything. So if anything or any aspects of the earth, if anything is related with the location, then the geospatial technology is a perspective on it. Like as you already told, like any field in health sector, in the agriculture sector, biodiversity, environment, policy making, infrastructure, every sector, the use of remote sensing and geospatial technology just provides a new perspective to see what is where and where do we need to intervene in that sector, or how by over the geospatial temporally, so how something is moving where, like for example in the endemic or pandemic of the diseases, how they are moving to which location and which factors are influencing to cause that. Yeah, so it provides that geospatial and temporal perspective to anything under our analysis.
Yeah, when I wanted to talk with you about geospatial or Earth observation technologies, I was recalling to my olden days when I was in US for my masters. Like I used to navigate the Google Earth every day because I used to miss Nepal and its natural resources. I used to just watch, explore the natural resources. It looks so beautiful on Google Earth, if we look at on Earth and all those mountains, forests, even the villages. So I think there, with this information, as you told, like it's very useful in Nepal, but when it was introduced in Nepal and how it has been in application and in many of these issues in Nepal.
Oh, actually, yeah, geoinformation science or this Earth observation technology, it's not that old science, yeah, like 20, 30 years, just it has been just few years only, but still the progress and it's making is very it's in very accelerated rate. And in case of the Nepal, actually, it's just only like 1.5 decades it was introduced here. So right now it's actually in the countries like Nepal, which has kind of like diverse environmental topography and everything, and also it's like attractive in a way and also vulnerable for the climate change and all the things, the disaster that are caused by the climate change. So in this sector, till now, actually, in every aspect, especially in forestry, conservation, and in agriculture a bit, and then in the health sector also. They are like prominent. Like these, the lanes of geospatial or locational informations is being used now, but hasn't been as it should be. But I hope it will be in the future.
Yeah, as being in agriculture sector, I know the geospatial technology was used in soil mapping, and it's available even in Nepal Agriculture Research Council. As you explained, what are the other examples? For example, you said it has been used in health sector or maybe in planning process. Do you have any of these examples in different fields where we are using it and how we are using it?
So like in case of the health sector, yeah? So they have like informations, even in like, there is a good example that I know and was involved in, like in Pokhara municipality, they have just put the infrastructure informations like the hospitals, hospital with base capacity, and other road and other infrastructure information. So by the help of that, so they will analyze, they will help to find out like which areas, like because it's a cross-cutting science, yeah. So there will be, we will have the informations in layers, like what is where. So they are using that in terms of like which area has how much population, yeah,
the population density,
yeah, and
right? Resource use,
true,
where are the agricultural land, where are the forests,
true.
everything can be seen
True.
on
The
a map
land
from
use
a room, right?
Yeah. And the planner, it's a very important tool for the planner. So it will show the information to you. Then based on, it's actually called the decision making tool, or it gives you the
Decision
support system, yeah, the support. It will provide you the what's the scenario over there. So based on the scenario, you will the planner or the decision maker can decide what is required where. So, and I think based on the informations from the geospatial technology, they will help. It will help to people or the planner to give a meaningful decision, to provide a meaningful decision. So the allocations of the budgets will be there where it is required, yeah.
Right?
And also, like you told, like what are the other sectors? So in the flood map, there have been like flood mapping, and there has been like in the conservation sector, there are a lot of activities going on, like the like the mapping of the species, habitat suitability of the endangered species, and then similarly, in the case of the carbon mapping, forest cover change mapping, and the productivity mapping. Actually, a lot of activities are in the hydrology sector, in glaciology, the glaciers mapping. And these things are going on actually, and the forest fire mapping things. So there actually are a lot of things going on, yeah.
As you come up in a local level planning, as we have now 3 tiers of governments, and local government has a vital role in overall development of the country. And as you explained, using geospatial technology can help to optimize our budget, right? We do have limited budget at local levels, and sometimes often we have duplicate projects, or we are using the budget in unnecessary sites, like how we can utilize it, resource mapping and market mapping, supply chain analysis, everything can be done using that information provided by geospatial technology, right? So it seems it's really important to tools for the local level planners, definitely in the national scale as well, all this natural resource management. We will come on that and later. We have 753 local level of government. Yeah. So how is the situation in other local level, and do you see that the government need to do in every local level, or training, knowledge gap, or information available for that? Like, what is the situation now?
Yeah, actually, at the research level, or like based on the sectors we are involved, like I'm more involved in forestry, conservations and stuff. So I'm doing my job, but still I think, yeah, there is a gap. Like the thing I'm doing is not actually being taken to the, actually it's like there is the system is missing there, yeah, so it's not actually reaching where it's needed. And also like we don't, at the local level, we don't have the geospatial literacy much, and I think it's really a point where actually in every local government there should be some personnel who can understand the basic geo information system and how to handle it, how to compile the informations and discuss or present it to the planner regarding
even for the, even for the public, right?
Yeah, also,
when the mayor or deputy mayor or the elected official take the office, at the beginning what was the situation you can see on the map, and over the time what is the progress in case of infrastructure, natural resource management, or like a hazard mapping or everything, like what is going on over the course of your 10 years, you can really show, and it's kind of monitoring and evaluation tool as well. So but you see that we need to have a training and a personal at each local level, so that the process could be implemented on a better way, right? Though it's new tools, I really think that if we want to move forward, we need to have it on those government level. And as you mentioned that it's used in natural resource management, and you were involved in a lot in forest management research. Would you please share your experience on some of your research, how it's important in Nepal, and especially climate change, resource utilization, risk assessment. We do have lots of forests. Even we do have the World Heritage Sites such as Chittor National Park, Sagarmatha National Park at all, and we do have lots of biodiversity like globally endangered animals and maybe the plant species as well. So can you please explain your experience on that sector?
Okay, actually, yeah, very interesting. Actually, in the natural resource management, the geoinformation technology, as told before, provide a new lens of spatio-temporal analysis. So, based on we have been using the geospatial remote sensing and geospatial technology in like the land use land cover mapping over the time, like from 1990s to till now. What's the trend? How the urban area is increasing and forests are decreasing? Maybe which part have
or
been
maybe
more
increasing, right? In
yeah,
many
true. Now
recently
areas,
the forest has
increasing.
been.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
You're right. Now it's like more than 45% of the area of Nepal have been has been now in forest. Yeah, so we can see the trend, how the change is happening, and also like related to like the developmental projects and the population. So which areas there is a trend of increasing forest? Yeah. So what's the attributes that is causing the increase in forest? Maybe if the population is decreasing, or there is migration happening, or maybe there were some project intervention which were helping to increase the forest. So we can just compare the areas where there is increment in forest and the areas where there are still degradation, and see what's happening on there. And it provides us the new lens. Okay, so these were the things due to which these areas are becoming more. Maybe we can see there might be some thing other than what we thought of. Maybe it's because of the population declining over there in this area. Maybe we thought we have our own assumptions, but the geospatial analysis and the modeling stuffs, they will give us what's exactly happening there.
So
yeah.
do you have any examples from your research side that this was happening in these regions, that's how like the forest area was increased, right? Or if there are any wild animal increasing, or maybe people often talk about the monkeys, like do you have any results or
actually
experience from that?
There are many, but right now while I'm just talking with you, one of the project that we did pop up in my mind. Actually, it was the project of Nepal Tiger Genome Project, the Tiger Project actually. So it was in Chittor National Park, and I was just doing the land use land cover mapping, trend analysis, and habitat suitability mapping of tigers. So we had the presence points. So they were like where the points from of tiger sightings. So these in the Chitwan National Park, these are the location where the tigers were seen. So when I see the spatiotemporal analysis, it was kind of like there were some places where there were no tigers seen before, actually, like for like consecutively 2-3 years. Then after suddenly it appeared there was tiger. Then we talked in our group. Then realized that actually there was some settlement over there. It was kind of near the inside, even inside the Chitwan National Park. But after the relocation was made, then there was like a good number of tiger sighting in that place. So it's an example like the policy, due to policy, actually maybe there was some thorough research regarding that was the habitat of tiger or not, but after the relocation there was very good impact on the tiger movement. So there were like now we have like the tiger number is doubled, yeah, and it's seen in the areas where the tiger are seen in the areas they have like good habitats in the areas where they used to be before, but then we just gave our settlement there, so they just disappeared and now they are appearing, and it was really interesting.
Everybody are entitled, like every living animals are entitled to be in earth, but sometimes true. Like knowingly or unknowingly our intervention might be beneficial as well as haphazard to
that's
to earth,
right.
So coming to another uses of geospatial technology, as you mentioned, it's also used in natural risk assessment, right? And it's very saddened to see all these natural disaster these days. We are in monsoon and there were lots of accident happening. I travel from Chitwan to Kathmandu in bus and I see lots of landslide. Theoretically, when we talk about landslide, big landslide doesn't appear suddenly. It's a gradual progressive process. So can you please explain about those risk assessment like landslide, the flood, or even the weather forecasting, or how it is being used, or how we can utilize in future so that we can minimize the risks associated with a natural disaster?
As already told before, for Nepal, I think geospatial technology is very important as it provides a spatiotemporal lens to everything happening here, and especially because Nepal is very fragile and the climate change is happening, so these fluctuations in the climatic behavior and causing more disasters. We are having more forest fire than ever, more landslides than ever, more gulf and other things.
Glacier blood.
Yeah, that's true. So in that case, actually geospatial technology, we use that, but I think it's not like you talked about the landslide. We do the landslide vulnerability mappings, like which areas are very vulnerable. But for me, actually, as I also teach, so we do the modeling stuffs, teach the students, do like some project work, but I think it's not implemented, as you told, like maybe we need, like, because it's a very important issue, the forest fire, the landslide, these things are very important. So
it's directly associated with the people's life. Like,
true,
it's so heartbreaking to see all these accidents happening in the monsoon season in Nepal.
Yeah, that's, I think so we need to take it seriously, rather than only go this student project or small project. We need to have the serious campaigns for that and just do the vulnerability mapping, and then based on the vulnerability we need to do some protection measures, what we should do to in order to avoid or to mitigate those things. Yeah, that's very important.
Do you have any ideas about the policy related to this technology, or how the government is taking it? Because it's pretty new. Maybe it's not even very like vital on the government level. Maybe we need to advocate for that to integrate in the government process, right? Do you have any idea on this?
Yeah, actually, I think that's right. We are doing in our own way, maybe, and in the government level, at the policy level, maybe the thing we are doing is not being reached, actually. That's even we publish papers, but if we don't coordinate and talk or have some meetings over time, like, okay, in geospatial technology, involvement of the people who are working in geospatial technology on the disaster management, like flood or forest fire. So we have like, if we had like some meetings over time, so we can actually that's true, and there should be like, we should have like put the point like where are the vulnerable areas and what we can do, and then the decision maker can do some decision. And also there should be some system, I think, so the planners can look at the information they need based on what we have find out. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but there is some lack.
I'm just raising these issues because it's kind of technical things to do, right? It needs some certain skills that we need to learn to understand all this technology and make a map. Maybe we can read a map, but to make all like the map from all these layers and the data points, and to make the information like readable to the public, it needs a skill. Maybe like we may not have enough population that have that skill in our system.
Yeah, that's also a point. Actually, there were very few populations really working in geospatial technology, though it's very important topic to work on. But these days, the number of students have been increasing, but still.
And you are training the new generation too.
Yeah, but still there is the issue of migration, the brain drain and other things. So I think, as you told, like from basic to advanced level, from the local government level to the upper level, I think there should be some technology transfer and the skill training them. That should be actually be there for the information sharing and information gathering and using them in decision making.
Yeah, it seems like all the ministry need this tool, the health ministry need a tool to access the disease assessment, maybe the prevent the potential pandemic or endemic. In agriculture, it's a big like resource mapping, land mapping, and then even planning for the agricultural activities, management of nutrient management, moisture management, everything. We can have the data from like geospatial technology. So and you often in an informal talk, like people just ask, like what is potential in this area. We don't really have an answer because it's so diverse, right? If we have the data and information available, we can only say that, well, the market is here, the resource is here, the water availability, irrigation availability is like that, the soil nutrient status of this area is this. Based on that that analysis, the scientist or the technician can recommend something, right? So it's very important to have this data. And as you mentioned before, in agriculture, the good example is soil mapping that have been done. But do you think it's updated information available?
Yeah, actually, I think there should be a technical person who should regularly update the data, like because it's all about modeling stuff. So you have like layers of information that is from the earth observation. Then you need some data from the field data. So we can just directly connect those layer of information from those systems in the like USCS science or others. But we need the ground data also. So there should be a technical person who can update those informations, I think.
Even the budget in research and development, because maybe the earth's surface, the information on earth is changing every day, every second, right? So it will not be same the other days or the year or other season. So it's need to have a regular research and development and the data. I think that's happening. So in health sector, like what are the major areas that we are having implementation of geospatial technology?
Actually, to my knowledge, I have not worked too much in health sector, but still generally the basics, like last time in coronavirus was outbreak, so there were research like what was like, there were at that time there was like I think more the virus inflammation in the north part of the world, not in the south. So why in the north part? So there was like maybe temperature were favorable there, so they were like similarly to that things like we have like other different diseases which have this outbreaks and pandemic. In those cases we can just see like how the those diseases flow is moving. So based on those flow of those disease transformations over time, we can predict where the next endemic can happen. Yeah.
So we can take a preventive measures so that we can prevent the loss of them.
Yeah, true.
And that same in animal health too, right? We have last year we have a lumpy skin disease fellows, and we had a huge loss on farmers level. So that can be utilized on livestock sector too. And even for the insurance, right? How do we use that in insurance? Human insurance, crop insurance, animal insurance. It's a new topic, right? It's kind of like a very important one.
Yeah, actually that's also interesting, and I have been following one of my friends' work on the insurance sector. So it's kind of like flood insurance. So even in animal insurance or flood insurance things, the problematic thing there is like you need to go there to verify, and then only you give the money. The amount of money you spend in traveling there is more than the one amount they are getting. Or
the process is even hectic for the farmers and the public. Right? Yeah.
So in that case, this remote sensing and modeling can do amazing job. Like there has been a trial project, so that's the flood insurance, and in that case what the farmers, they have made kind of group, like the one staying in like Siraha, ward number 1, the owners of those plots, they have made a group. So they have put their insurance scheme. So in that case, they have developed one modeling which takes the remote sensing layers and the weather data and other system, those data. So in that model, so if you have like your some person, some like 3 or 5 members of that group area of field is affected by the flood, they can claim that. And how the insurance persons will verify is based on that model. They will see, like they are saying like this acre of land is flooded, so in that model they just need to put which area, so they will put the coordinates, and based on that the the model that is developed, it will give like the information regarding how deep was the flood, and how many days the flooding was happening there, and what was the loss percent, and it will also calculate the amount of insurance money it should give them. So that's life is easy now, yeah. So they just can transfer the money to them. So that was in trial. I think if it went well, the government can put it as one of the major way to provide the insurance money to them.
Justifiable distribution of resources, right? For example, like if the peoples are having the resources where it is not intended to go, or if the people who need to have the resources, we can also provide the resources to them. So it's kind of like very important tool in planning process. So I think we need to have this discussion, and if it's already in place in many ministries, it's great. If it's not, then maybe we need to start working on it, right? To disseminate this technology from the national planning level to local planning level.
That was just a trial, I think. So I think this information, these type of information should be needed to be taken to the like planners levels, like look, this really works. So I think why not we put these things in the planning so that it will work in all states and all areas where there will be flood.
So as a scientist working in this field, what are the aspirations for you, like the positive opportunities and aspiration, and what are the challenges for you?
Regarding the opportunities, there is immense opportunity of geospatial technology in any aspects of the research and analysis, or it's a problem solving tool. It shows you the picture, what is happening, what might be the reason. So it's actually very interesting, and actually I enjoy my work. Before, actually I can just start some small story. I was in agriculture. I did my bachelor's in agriculture science. Then I started a job, and it was kind of more like extension, and at that time I was very much introvert, so maybe it was kind of enjoyable jobs for some, but I really didn't enjoyed it. Yeah, that I thought this was not my piece of cake. So then during our bachelor's, I think you also had studied. We have like very little chapter on like geospatial or remote sensing, and the teacher told, oh, remote sensing is something you stay somewhere and look at somewhere. So it's kind of like Durveen or that telescope stuff. So I was just thinking. Then, but it was really interesting to me, so I thought of pursuing my career in it, and it's really interesting, amazing science, amazing technology. Actually, as we talked, like it's very powerful, yeah. So it's useful, especially for Nepal. It's like a boon. Like you can just, because it's Nepal has very difficult terrains, yeah. So it's very difficult to go and collect the data in that place. So with the use of the remote sensing and technologies, life has become easier. So I think in every aspects, from natural resource management to agriculture, forestry, conservation, health, everywhere it has very good prospects. So
even for the transportation these days, I was so glad to have these in drives and vehicles all the way. They just, but how they use the Google Maps to
so everyone locational geo information is important everywhere. So there is huge opportunities. I would like to invite all the new generations, brother and sister, to join here, of course, if they are interested. And also the challenge is
you're doing a great job of creating the future new generation.
I'm trying to, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'm just trying to, yeah. So the challenges, I think, is like being like economically a downward country. We don't have our own satellite or our own resources.
Is it too expensive to have a satellite?
It's very expensive. It's truly very expensive. But they are the challenges, yeah. And we don't have like good manpower, geospatially educated manpower in every level. That's the challenges. But and also this science is actually, it's new technology, but changing very fast. So we need to keep learning. Yeah. Last year I studied something about the software, about the application. The next year it's another thing going on, which is more efficient. So we need to upgrade ourselves. That's opportunity as well as challenge. So that's the thing. And the expensive resources is one of the challenge. But still, these days there are a lot of even higher resolutions, open source imageries. So that's a boon again. So there are opportunities and challenges. So, but I think there are more opportunities than the challenges. Like even for high resolution imageries, now we can have the UAVs, yeah. So they are actually really good. Yeah.
Many of my listeners also may want to know about this technology in future, but with the time limitation, we're coming to end. So would you like to say something for the policy makers or for the students or development agencies, donor agencies working in Nepal to progress in research, extension and development in geospatial technology field in Nepal?
For all of them, actually, this prospect, the geospatial information provides a new lens, a new prospect to any of the theme, yeah, any of the theme that is related to location. So for the planners, it's very important tool. It provides you the data information, like look what is where, this is the situation, now what you want. If you want this, then I think if like there are the scenarios modeling also, like we did one scenario modeling, like it was kind of like deforestation modeling. If the population remained constant and we had like trend of deforestation in those different areas, so what will be the forest area after 10 years in which area? So there are the scenarios like population remain constant, then we change different other factors. So based on that, you get the prospect. Okay, I want my city like this. If you
Yeah.
get it, then based on that, so what are the things I need to hit on? Yeah, so it gives us the policymakers also the information where exactly I need to hit, and I think it makes the resource utilization more efficient. And
Yeah, I often advocate for the evidence-based policy these days, and for every policymakers, politicians, every students need to have some level of information on Earth observation technology,
definitely, yeah.
so that we, whatever we speak, I will make my country in 20 years. We need to have some evidence.
Yeah.
Based on what, right? I will make my municipality what I will make in 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years. That need to have some modeling,
Yeah.
resource mapping, and there is an amazing tool available through
True,
Earth
true.
observation technology. So I hope they will have more interest,
Yeah.
more policy on different level of government and future as well. Dr. Koju, thank you so much for coming here
It's my pleasure.
and sharing such an amazing experience about this great technology for Nepal. And we will keep talking in other issues, in this issues, and in future as well, in different forums with students, with policymakers, in person or even online through media. Science communication is actually a great tool for advocacy as well, right?
That's
Thank you
true.
so much for coming here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm honored. Thank you. Namaste.